Hi, it's Blue Orange 22. I have a video for you today introducing a topic that is one of the major talking points of the men's rights movement. It's something that's been getting more attention from the media in the last couple of years, but it's been going on for a very long time. And it is the gender gap in education affecting boys. Now, in this video, I'm going to be focusing more on the United States, but this is something that actually happens all over the world in various different ways. Still kind of getting the studio situation set up. I'm looking at different cameras, different lighting, all that kind of stuff. For now, I got kind of the basic setup, but hopefully it'll improve as time goes on. But the education gap affecting boys. Um, it's referring to the statistical fact that boys are behind girls in education, really throughout their entire time at school, all the way from pre-K to college. In the United States, boys are less likely to graduate high school and less likely to attend college. But the problem actually starts from a very early age. Um, a study has shown that statistically, boys get lower grades than girls in every single subject at every single age. This is the first link down in the description below from the APA, and you'll see that boys and girls, if you compare at the same age and the same grade, will earn lower grades in all subjects, including STEM, including math, including science. And this persists from pre-K to kindergarten, grade school, middle school, all the way through high school. Now, that by itself, getting lower grades, getting a lower high school GPA, is something that potentially can affect the rest of your life when you think about it. Because that affects applying to colleges and what colleges you get into. And what college you go to can affect your career and what job you get. And that can have a lifelong effect for the rest of your life. So, starting behind in education is something that can set a person behind for life. Um, I think that if it was the other way around, and it was girls who were getting lower grades in every subject at every age, it would be a major discussion point for politics and social justice. In fact, we do hear a lot in the United States about girls in STEM, and it's a major political talking point. We say, well, we have to address this problem in girls' education. But when it's boys who are behind in everything, including STEM, you don't hear as much about it. Um, and this is not to try and dismiss or ignore the issue of girls' education around the world, because it is a perfectly valid and perfectly true point that in many places in the world, girls are discriminated against and they're not allowed to go to school and they don't have the same opportunities. This is something that the men's rights movement completely recognizes as a valid point. And it's not something that we're against talking about or against addressing at all. We just say that there's more going on than just that. There are also, in other parts of the world and in other ways, disadvantages that boys face. Now, what's interesting about the grade gap between girls and boys is when you talk about the reason why. There are multiple studies, which I've linked below, which show that boys are actually discriminated against when it comes to grading, and teachers actually give boys lower grades for the same work. So if a girl and boy does exactly the same work and they hand it in, the boy will actually get a lower grade for it. And this has actually been shown multiple times. Um, You'll see the second link is a study from the MIT School of Economics, which broke down the grading gap and the trend of giving boys lower grades, and a very detailed analysis. And it showed without question boys are in fact being discriminated against. And then I put a few more articles on that topic beneath that as well. Education is something that sets someone up for the rest of their life. So if boys are getting behinds very, very early on, what are some effects that might come up later on in life? Well, if you look statistically, men are more likely to be unemployed, more likely to be homeless, and more likely to be in prison. If we talk about societal and economic disadvantages, a gap in education would surely count.